We will be enjoying a screening of the film Icebreakers, where we will be a part of Josh Crook's journey. Josh is a promising teen hockey star in a sport where Black athletes like him are chronically underrepresented. Following the screening, we'll have the opportunity to chat with Zechariah Thomas, a local hockey player who has seen some great success in the sport.
She's the head of my diversity.
Before I start reading the land acknowledgement statement, I would like the participant to mute their mic so that we can all listen in, if that's okay. We would like to acknowledge that we come together tonight from the Municipality of Clarington, which is situated within the traditional and treaty territory of the Mississaugas and Chippewas of the Anishinaabe, known today as the Williams Treaties First Nations. Our work on these lands acknowledges their resilience and their longstanding contributions to the area now known as the Municipality of Clarington. At this time, I would like to call upon Mayor Adrian Foster to bring greetings from the Municipality of Clarington.
Mayor, thank you ever so much, and thank you for the invitation tonight. We're laughing that we're doing this virtually, and some of us are virtual enough to be a couple of floors away from each other. But on an evening like tonight, this is maybe not so bad. You know, events like this, the ability for us to gather and hopefully gather face to face, being surrounded by 3D beings instead of 2D bits of screens in front of us is just so important, which is part of the point, I think, of Black History Month, and that is it's to talk, it's to share, and hopefully to learn. And even with the acknowledgement statement, the history that we're getting from Black History Month and that we've gotten over the last number of years to understand the diversity that is in our community, and that's part of all of us. So for the committee putting us on, thank you. For the library helping out, thank you. For staff, the work that they've done, thank you. And for all of those of you that are joining us this evening, thank you. And that's enough of me, because there's more important and entertaining things to do than listen to a politician.
Thank you, Mayor Foster. That's great. So on that note, I think I would pass it on to the Clarington Library for the screening. Enjoy the show.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. I hope everyone enjoyed that movie. Like myself, I'm sure a lot of us have learned some stuff for the very first time, like myself. But today we have our very own Zechariah Thomas, which is our star athlete of today's time, and he will share his experience as he's part of that hockey organization. But before Zach comes on to tell us about what he's been up to and what life has been like for him, I'll just read a little bio on Zechariah. And we just want to welcome Zechariah right now and thank him for taking the time out to spend it with us this evening. We really appreciate it. Thank you on behalf of all of us here. We just want to thank you, Zechariah, for being here. So a little bit about Zechariah. Zechariah was born on December 10th, 2002. Zechariah began playing hockey at the age of 10. In 2015, Zechariah joined the Oshawa General Miners. Over the last 7 years, Zechariah has had a successful hockey career playing with the Okanagan Hockey Academy, Florida Eels Hockey, Connecticut Chiefs, Brampton Admirals, and Acadie Bathurst Titans. Zechariah is currently a member with the Jamaican Olympic hockey team. During his time with Oshawa General Miners, Zachariah was truly made aware of how expensive hockey equipment could be, especially hockey sticks, which can be a barrier for some children to play the game. In 2022, Zachariah created Swift Hockey, a hockey stick company similar to top professional hockey sticks, but at a more affordable cost to help support the dreams of any child to play hockey and make a difference. So we just want to just welcome Zachariah right now, and we've all watched the movie, and we'll hear what Zechariah has to say about his life being a hockey star. Hi, Zechariah.
Hey, yeah, that movie was very close to what really happens in the day of a black hockey player. Didn't really obviously show what really happens and how bad it really is being a black hockey player and dealing with the struggles that I have dealt with and a lot of the people I know have dealt with in the system. So everything in that was pretty close though to what was actually going on.
Mm-hmm. So I think we just have a message in the chat. So please feel free to put any message in the chat that you'd like to hear Zachary answers. And we will get to those questions as soon as we can. One thing that pointed out to me, Zachary, in the movie, you know, the loneliness of the individual, of Josh.
Yes.
So, you know, I wonder, how was that? Is that something that you experienced being, you know, usually just a minority in any hockey team, really, except for the Jamaican team, I suppose? Maybe you could explain how you felt there and to how, you know, that being an all black and then you being just
okay,
one.
Sure, yes. So normally when I do play in organizations and hockey teams, it does take a long time for me to click with most of my teammates, as it's majority always white teammates. But when I did go and play for Team Jamaica, it was instant click, instant bond. It was a really different experience. I didn't feel any hatred or envy from anybody on my team during that time as I do currently, and just playing hockey in general. Even when I go to pick up hockey or just little fun hockeys and stuff, I still feel people battling me a little more different than everybody else and still challenging me and calling me names.
Mm. And what do you normally do to I don't know, it's to stay focused, because it's so easy to get distracted, you know?
Yes, it is. It's very easy to get distracted, and dealing with in games, people calling you the N-word and monkey and a lot of racial slurs. It's very hard to stay on focus and stay on task, but I just tend to wipe it out. And I've heard it, sad enough, I've heard it way too much in my short so far career that it's becoming normal. It's very normal. So it's sad, but I've almost got used to hearing all those stuff on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I have a question here that's in the chat. Vanessa wants to know, what are some of the struggles that you are still encountering today in hockey? I mean, we saw kind of what happened back then, but what are some of the struggles that are you still encountering?
Yes, I feel like there's a lot of struggles, and I've been dealing with like even issues making teams, getting out of contracts, and etc. due to this color of my skin. And it feels like I've been held back due to that issue.
Mm-hmm. So that's something that's still, even after all this, then something that stood out to me in the movie is because I grew up just thinking, you know, it was such a white game, like, you know, and here it is that it was going on for so long, yet, you know, not being up at the forefront. So that was something new for me. I don't know if you knew that. I don't know. That's not something that was taught in school, actually. So I found that interesting, actually, to see. So what really, I know, what inspired you to play hockey, to start playing hockey? You started at age 10. What inspired you?
Honestly, what really inspired me to play hockey is that just growing up in Oshawa, and first I moved from Whitby, and then as soon as I went to Oshawa, everybody has their Oshawa Maya Generals gear on, and at recess, everybody's playing mini sticks and just loving it. So that was something I almost had no choice but not to try, just because I was in Oshawa. Then I ended up falling in love with it and stuck with it until now.
Mhm, mhm. And like some of the people that are watching probably don't know, like, you know, I actually know your mom, so I just recall your mom taking you to these hockey training so early in the mornings and stuff like that. And you know, I'm always saying, boy, he must really want to play hockey, you know, because it takes up so much of your time and the off times that you have to be there, which probably take away from your normal friendship with kids your age, right?
Yes,
How-
yeah, exactly. I'm not the type of guy don't have no time to go out and party and do what most of teenagers my age and kids my age were doing at that time. It was just mostly wake up, hockey, and then go to bed, and then more hockey. So my schedule was consistently just hockey. And then my time off, I did get the little time off, I was be training hockey and working on my skills to become better than my peers.
Right, right. I guess there was always that pressure to stand out from the rest, other than the color of your skin, but in your game.
Yes,
There's-
yes, yeah, for sure. It always felt like if a white person was doing decent and I had to do so much better than them for me to get spots on teams and just move forward in hockey.
Mhm.
If there could be, I can't be close to another white person because they're going to pick the other person.
Yes, so Excel was always your game.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. I'm also keeping an eye on the chat for you. What is one of your greatest accomplishment then, you know, during your hockey career? I know you're still so young, but you know.
Yes, yeah. Honestly, my biggest accomplishment was probably playing for Team Jamaica and just having that great experience that they have showed me, and they welcomed me in, and I got to play with some great people, great faces that really showed me how they have dealt with it, because there's a lot more, all of them were older. I was the youngest on the team. So they showed me how they had dealt with that, their pressures in their careers, and how they have built on and grown as hockey players.
Mhm, mhm. I'm sure they probably had a few words of encouragement for you. As you said, they were older, right? So
Yes.
to inspire you. So I guess it's kind of good to have you kind of have them to look to
Yes, exactly.
for advice. So what keeps you motivated?
Honestly, it's a lot of just the love for the game.
Mhm.
I just wake up every day and I'm still happy to get out there and go work hard and still compete at a high level.
Mhm, mhm. Okay. I know that you're wearing your Swift hockey there. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what Swift hockey is about?
Yeah, so I started the brand Swift Hockey not too long ago, but I've always been a thought in my mind to get it started.
Mhm.
It's mostly because when growing up in Oshawa, and a lot of kids in not the nicest parts of Oshawa going to practice and breaking their hockey stick, I saw a lot of kids and parents almost in tears and feeling really bad that they have to go spend another $400 on a hockey stick that is going to break again, because
Mhm.
they're made to break and be in certain situations to break. And so, yeah, so I started Swift Hockey due to that. And I saw a big issue on the big companies gouging prices and charging $400 for a hockey stick. And it wouldn't be even to anybody for the quality too. So I've created a hockey stick that is this very similar quality to the top of the line hockey sticks at more than half the price off to really kind of change the game and include a lot more people.
Okay. That's awesome. That's awesome. So how could someone now get in touch with you for the purchase of these hockey sticks?
Yeah, so basically my website is swift-hockey.com, and that's where you can purchase your stick. As of right now, we're still in beginning stages, working out all the irons, but hopefully getting a retail store in the soon come to kind of help the brand grow and help people get sticks quick as soon as they need them.
Awesome. I'm just checking to see what can you discuss some of your experiences? I know you briefly touched on them, just being on the various teams, because as I mentioned in your bio, you've played on various teams. Just to discuss some of your experiences that you have had, and have you experienced any inter-team conflict?
Yes, I've experienced a lot of inter-team conflict and issues, even within my team, within my coaching staff, that I've dealt with issues that players on my team calling me names and doing the little stuff like putting bananas in my stall or in my hockey bag and doing a lot of stuff like that. And even social media, even my players on my team that I'm supposed to be pretty close with, I've done a lot of evil stuff to try and get to me. Other than that, yes, a lot of other teams maybe call me, tell me to go play basketball, switch sports, and really a lot of evil stuff again.
And so how did you deal with that? How do you deal with that? I mean, especially before you go onto a game, because that certainly plays with your mind, I would think. So like, how would you deal with something like that?
Honestly, it's pretty hard to deal with stuff like that, but like once again, it's just so normal that it's kind of like, if I hear it, it's like I can't do much about it anymore. I kind of know I can't do anything, and I just hear it so often that it's just kind of, my brain doesn't really acknowledge it most of the time.
Are there ever any like consequences from the coach, or coaches or from the league, like, because I'm sure they're probably aware of things like this that happens? Is there anything, do you feel protected by them?
Not so. There have been players have gotten in a lot of trouble saying stuff, but that's just when the referee hears it. Which if a player is using their brain, they won't say it near the referee, which that's mostly how it goes. But there have been a couple instances where kids have been suspended from saying it to me. Maybe a lot of they do get a good punishment, a lot of games, and they have to go like seek like help, I guess, and talk to counselors.
Okay. Good that they're acknowledging it and doing something about it.
Yeah.
Also, I have a question here. I know you're pretty young with the Swift hockey, but I guess a suggestion, do you have Swift hockey camps for young Black kids to learn the skills you have? Or is this something that you have in mind maybe in the future that you would?
Yes, actually. So I have actually, where I'm still in the working, I have started the Swift Hockey Foundation. They're going to be helping, giving equipment and finding funds to help kids in need, and run programs to free ice sessions to help kids more introduced into the sport.
Okay. I have a question. What advice would you have for other young players facing similar racism in this kind of sport?
Yes, so the advice I'd have is just keep working. You just got to keep working and work through it. because it's not something that's looking like it's going to stop anytime soon. Something that you just kind of have to grow some thick skin and work through it and battle through it.
Okay. We have a question here. How much are the hockey sticks? I know you mentioned that they're far less than.
Yeah, so the price I would be looking at releasing them at is around $150 as the competitors. So I would be releasing the stick at 375 grams, which would be one of the lightest sticks on the market, very close to the competitors. And it would be going for more than half the price as the competitors do. Like top of the line sticks are going for around $400.
Wow. We have a question. Oh, do you have a therapist that you get to talk with as well, during these times, just as a way to balance you mentally?
No, honestly, I have my mother, my brother, and my family. I talk to them a lot through it, and they've been very helpful dealing with situations that they have seen and they have dealt with in the past. So they're always there for me, and I can always talk to them.
Okay.
We have a question here too, Angela.
Okay.
So Zechariah, one of the participants is asking, how would you recommend we as individuals and as community members can help overcome these challenges that you're talking about, that you've been facing in hockey? So are there things that others can do to help support and overcome?
Honestly, it's just getting more people in the sport. I believe that there's just a lack of diversity in hockey, that it is slowly growing, but as soon as it becomes more diverse, I believe that the slurs and all the issues that everybody's dealing with will slowly go away. And I think that would be the major issue, supporting some of these foundations that are helping get those kids into the sports.
Thank you.
Do you have any further question, Erica, or can continue on from the chat?
Yep, go ahead. That was the question I received. Yeah.
We have a question. How would you recommend overcoming these challenges? Is that the one you just asked? Okay. I was not paying attention. Have you had coaches that were showing you hardship because of your color?
Yes, I have. I've had coaches give me major issues on playing time and such like that due to the color of my skin. Like, for example, I've been on a team where I've been the leader, goal scoring leader, point leader, and I've just been having a tremendous season, and the coach still barely plays me and puts me on the worst lines, and really gave me an issue at practice and all of that. And I still, at the end of the year, even though I led the team in points and goals and assists, they still didn't give me any award at the end of the season as they do to everybody else.
How, a question as we were speaking of coaches, how does your coach help you, for your coach? Because I'm assuming you have a white coach as well. That's,
Yes. So my coach right now, I haven't experienced too much with him, but there is a Black trainer on staff. So he gave me a couple books. Actually, the book that was in the movie Black Ice, about that Maritimes team, he gave me that book to read and maybe help me guide through what's going on.
Okay. We have another question here. Do you have any suggestions for anything that we can do to encourage diversity in the sport?
I think it's really just being accepting, because I believe that there's a lot of kids aren't joining the sport due to them not being accepted. And hockey is a very expensive sport, and I've just been grateful to have the resources to end up playing hockey. But I believe that the foundations that are helping Black kids and just minorities get into the sport of hockey is very crucial to the growing and the end, well, slowly ending what's going on in every game for minority.
Right. And I guess having you showing up more of you, like, you know, because if others see people like them out there, yeah, then that will help. Oops, sorry, how will you use your experience, whether positive or negative, to help young Black kids wanting to play the sport?
Honestly, talk to a lot of young Black kids that are in the sport, and I do try and guide them into proper ways. So, because I believe that if they're going to grow in the sport, it's kind of a big trickling effect. So the more kids I believe I'm going to help, is that they're going to help, and then it'll keep going down, and then there'll be more kids joining the sport slowly.
Okay. We have a question that says, are there any training for coaches on, I'm not sure if you know this, on discrimination and inclusion?
In US, I don't believe about Canada right now, but you have to go through a safe sport training. Even as players and as coaches, you have to go through training. I think the coaches go through more extensive training, but it's mostly about racism, and just it goes through all of that and what not to say and how to deal with certain situations on and off the ice.
How we have another question. How do you cope with the fan attention that you get?
Honestly, it's good. It's good. I enjoy the attention, and I probably play better through the attention, and having a lot of fans at my games. It's encouraging. It's really encouraging.
Nice. Okay. I have a question here for you. So would you be willing, like, you know, we have the different anti-Black racism committee and stuff. Is that something that you'd put thought in? Would you be willing to work with us as an organization to, you know, because that's one way of promoting the sport, and that the sport is not only for, you know, the white people, or, you know, it's for everyone.
Yes.
Is that something that, you know, would you be able to? I know you're busy, and right now you're out of town too, you know, so it's something that you probably would have to coordinate, but that's something that, you know, in order to promote it.
No, for sure. Yes. That sounds like a great opportunity.
Erica, you got that? And what are your long range career goals?
Honestly, I have a lot in the air right now due to business, and I'm just kind of going where it flows, but hopefully I still get the opportunity to play at a higher level professional hockey and keep growing from there. But I do want to see my business grow as big as possible, and then I'll have to make that decision as soon as it comes to that. But
great. We'd love to see more of you too, and hear about you. We have someone wanted just to congratulate you, you know, on your determination and dedication to the game. It's very inspiring. Do you find that racism was most pronounced as you advanced in your career, or was it just throughout?
Honestly, I felt like a lot of the racisms were at the lower levels I've played at, to be completely honest, because I feel like the kids maybe weren't as well trained as the higher level kids to deal with certain stuff like that. But at the lower levels I've played at growing up, I've dealt with a lot more of that.
Oh, at the lower level?
Yes. So I started, I think when I was 12, going to play for the Oshawa Minor Generals.
Mm-hmm.
Then I started in AE, and then I went to AA and then AAA. And I then now in professional hockey that I'm now in, and I felt like in AE and AA it was the worst, and especially when I went to play for high school hockey and the smaller things like that, that was probably the worst experiences I have had due to that.
Mhm. So, okay, so as time goes on, it could be with the times and diversity is becoming so much more pronounced.
Yes, that could be a yes.
How are the other diverse groups treated within the sport?
Very, very, very similar to how I'm treated and Blacks are treated. They're very, very similar, especially the Asian community. They're treated very bad, and even the Indian community. So I believe just all minorities are dealing with a lot of slurs. Even that I hear from other minorities, they deal with a lot of slurs.
Okay. So then I guess it's just any other culture outside of, I mean, I think in the movie it mentioned once where one person had said, we just want the team to be all white, right?
Yes,
So
yeah.
kind of. So have you been bullied on the ice? And if that's a yes, how did you deal with that on the ice? Because that'll be during the game.
Yeah, so I'm not a big fighter and a bigger guy like that. So a lot of people have came up to me, tried to fight me, and they'll hit me in the corners and then put their stick and try and trip me up and stuff like that. But I have been grateful to have certain players on my team come and help me in those certain situations and even fight for me.
Mhm. Okay, because I guess at that time you also have to compose yourself and hold yourself, right?
Yes, exactly. Because the ref is only going to see, they're going to see the big outlaw, and they're not going to hear like the little things in the corner, little hits you'll get, and the words most of the time. So, and I'll probably get picked on worse if they hear something or see me do something.
Mhm. We have an encouraging message here for you, so that you are an amazing young man, and they hope to see you go very far in the world of hockey.
Thanks.
And know that we are all here to support you on your journey.
Thanks.
That's from Vanessa. Erica.
I do have a question here for you, Zechariah. So as we know, you're out of town tonight, and you were talking to us before we got started about, there's quite a bit of traveling involved, and you must spend a lot of time on the road and away from family and that. So what are some challenges that you face when you are traveling for games, and how do you cope with that stress?
Honestly, it's a lot of the stress I deal with is just missing my home, my family, and my friends. And gets really hard with the long bus rides, and I'm sitting by myself, and even in my room on my my downtime, it's pretty hard dealing with that stress.
Yeah.
But I just keep thinking, I just got to keep going and grind through it, because there's always going to be something better at the end.
Right. That's awesome. Yes, and it's been a very difficult year too, a couple of years with COVID too, on top of that. So yeah. So do you have fans back in the stands now where you're playing? You have people coming out to watch?
Yeah, weird enough, it's a completely different. You'd be shocked how weird it is in the States right now. It's like there's no COVID here. So in the first week I was there's no mask in the store. There's about 2,000 fans at the games, like right beside each other. Wow. So yeah, it's a big difference here.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, must be motivating though.
Yes.
Awesome. Do you see any more questions there, Angela?
Yes, so we have 3 more questions, and then we probably will be wrapping it up soon, but I can ask these 3 questions. Do you have a mentor or someone you look up to?
I look up to just mostly my family again. My family and my dad, my brother, and my mom. I look up to them because they have dealt with that in the past, and they're always helping me with those situations.
I know, well, I can only speak because I know you and I know your parents, and I just know they're great supporter.
Yes, yeah.
Where is your favorite place that you've traveled to play hockey?
I think Florida. Was definitely the best place I played in. Just me finishing off the ice, and then it's still warm outside, which is really weird compared to being here.
Right.
After games, you can go to the beach, and it's just, yeah, it's a really different experience in Florida.
All right, right. Okay. What kind of off-ice training do you do?
I do a lot of just, I guess, strength training, and I do a lot off ice is just stick handling and shooting pucks nonstop as much time as I do have when I am home in the summer.
Okay. And I think we have one more question here. We have time for one more question here. And it says, who is your role model and why?
My role model I have to be my mom.
Yeah.
She always pushes me and helps me to be the best and reach the greatest that I can be and be the best.
So before I go, I just have to tell you this. So we have this is an advice coming from someone. So she says, I hope there will be a book coming from you very soon. So her suggestion, so please keep good notes and record everything you experience. And then you can, of course, move into speaking engagements. So that was you have a lot of support here, Zach. So before I turn back over to Mira, I just really want to take this opportunity to really, again, thank you for taking the time out to be here with us this evening. It's been very inspiring, and I could ask you so many more questions, you know. So we hope to do this again soon, and we hope to work with you, you know, even to promote the sport and, you know, having it more, bring more awareness to the sport, and that it is open to everyone.
Yes.
Thank you, Zechariah.
No problem.
Thank you. And I think Melissa has her hand up or something.
She's celebrating.
I'm just celebrating. Thank you very much.
You see what I mean when I say I am clueless about these?
Well, you did well, Angela. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Zechariah. Like I was watching the movie, and I'm listening to you talk, Zechariah, and one thing that stood out to me and it broke my heart is your comment about you just wipe it out, and hearing racial slurs is so normal, and it's not normal and it's not acceptable. But thanks for persevering. Thanks for pushing through all that and accomplishing so much great in your life. And thanks for your parents for pushing you through and supporting you through this. So thank you again for joining us this evening and for sharing your time and your story with us. We wish you every success in your hockey career, a book career, a business in selling hockey sticks, whatever you choose. We wish you all the luck. On behalf of the Municipality of Clarington, Clarington's Diversity Advisory Committee, the Anti-Black Racism Subcommittee, and the Clarington Public Library, we would like to thank you, our community, for joining us this evening. We hope you enjoyed the event, and we look forward to connecting with you again. Please stay safe. I know it's really icy out there. Just stay warm and stay safe. Thank you, everyone.
Good luck, Zechariah. Good luck.
Good luck, Zechariah. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all. And
Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.